Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel for another daily breakdown. We have a lot of ground to cover for Thursday's episode, so grab your coffee and let's just jump right into the mess. So let's talk about Joy Wesley first, because honestly, Thursday's episode of Days of Our Lives on August 20 is going to deliver a massive shock for her, and it is not looking good at all. You guys remember a few episodes ago when Joy was having all that arm pain and dropped Kelsey's car seat at the pub? We all thought it was just a strain or maybe something minor from carrying a heavy baby around. But no, Kayla Johnson has to sit Joy down at the hospital and deliver some absolutely devastating news. Kayla admits that if the worst case scenario happens with Joy's spinal stenosis, she could actually be paralyzed. Paralyzed? I mean, what a massive blow. Joy has already been through so much in her life. Remember her origin story? She was literally conceived as a savior sibling to donate bone marrow to her older sister who had leukemia. She has always been tied to medical trauma. And now she is facing the terrifying reality that she might not be able to walk or physically take care of her baby daughter. It is just so heavy. And of course, Alex Kiriakis is right there. He is right by her side in that sterile hospital room. Joy leans heavily on Alex for comfort, and he is just soaking it all up. You have to look at this from Alex's perspective to really get it. The guy has massive abandonment issues because of his biological mom, Angelica Devereaux. He has always wanted a family that wouldn't leave him. And now he has Kelsey, and he has Joy, who is completely dependent on him right now because she is terrified. He is stepping up. He wants to be the hero. But let's be real. Is he doing it for Joy, or is he doing it for his own ego? Maybe I'm being too harsh. He probably does care about the mother of his child. But the optics are just so messy when he is still a married man. But you know who is watching all of this and absolutely hating every single second of it? Stephanie. Oh, Stephanie. She is standing on the sidelines, and she is just deeply, deeply uncomfortable. And honestly, she is spiraling out of control. Part of Stephanie knows that this medical crisis is horrible. She knows that spinal stenosis is no joke and that Joy is genuinely terrified of being paralyzed. But there is this other darker part of Stephanie that just cannot stand Joy. She is so paranoid. She feels like Joy is using every single trick in the book, every single crisis, to pull Alex closer and closer to her. And can you blame Stephanie? Her marriage is literally falling apart in front of her eyes. She already has severe PTSD from being kidnapped by Owen Kent, and now she feels like her husband is being emotionally kidnapped by his baby mama. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. She is losing her grip on reality and her marriage. So what does Stephanie do? She runs to her ex. Of course she does. Stephanie seeks out Chad DiMera for support. And I actually kind of love this dynamic. Chad and Stephanie have so much history together. They're basically just friends now. But Chad is such a good guy when he isn't wrapped up in DiMera corporate nonsense or fighting with EJ. He steps up to help his ex during her crisis. They have this really intimate catch-up session. Chad gives her some advice, and he will always care about her. But what is he supposed to say? What is the right advice here? Yeah, your husband is playing house with another woman. Chad has his own mess to deal with, especially with the whole Cat Green situation and his dead wife Abigail's memory popping up everywhere. But it's nice to see Chad just being a supportive friend for one. He listens to her vent about Joy and Alex, and he tries to ground her. But I don't know if anyone can ground Stephanie right now. She is too far gone in her own jealousy. And speaking of messy relationships, let's pivot to Javi Hernandez and Gus, because wow, the tension here finally snapped. The spoilers for Thursday say that Gus and Javi have a bitter, angry confrontation, and it is about time. Gus has been so patient for weeks, but he is finally done. Javi basically admits that he rushed into things with Gus. And why did he rush? Because he is still completely hopelessly in love with Leo Stark. I mean, what were they thinking? Who actually believes that Javi was ever over Leo? Leo is toxic. Leo is a walking disaster zone, but Javi just cannot quit him. He has been panicking about Leo being stuck in Alamainia, and it just became too obvious that Gus was a rebound. So Gus gets furious, and he should be. He walks away from Javi, and that is it. They are officially broken up. The inevitable breakup finally happened. Gus storms out, leaving Javi standing there all alone. And Javi is just standing there, finally on the verge of accepting that Leo still holds his heart. He is standing at the threshold of accepting his truth. But Leo has been in Alamainia with Dimitri von Leuschner, right? Javi was literally about to fly overseas to rescue him because Rafe left him behind. Javi was ready to risk it all for a guy who has lied to him a dozen times. That is how deep this obsession goes. But wait, here comes the twist. Gwen Rizchek gets the shock of her life. 2 shocks, actually. Back-to-back good news. Leo Stark comes back home. He is back in Salem. You guys, Leo actually managed to manipulate Dimitri into letting him go. He pulled the whole, if you really love me, you'll let me go card, and Dimitri actually fell for it. Dimitri dropped the vendetta. He backed off. So Leo is free, and Gwen is just absolutely thrilled. She has been carrying so much guilt about leaving Leo behind when she came back to Salem with Rafe. She thought Dimitri was going to torture him or keep him prisoner forever to force him to fall in love again. So Gwen has every reason to celebrate right now. Her best friend is back. Her crazy ex-husband Dimitri is finally out of the picture, and she can breathe for the first time in weeks. But let's look at the bigger pattern here. When does Gwen ever get a happy ending? Never. The writers are definitely setting her up for a fall. The fans on social media are already saying that Gwen is going to get dragged right back into EJ DiMera's mess. She still has to deal with Rafe pushing her to testify against EJ for the kidnapping and the Coraceal cover-up. So, yeah, Gwen has a lot more challenges ahead, but for today, she is just happy that the Alamainia nightmare is over. I almost feel happy for her. Almost. I change my mind about Gwen every other week. I admit it. But today, I'm glad she got her friend back. She needs someone in her corner who isn't a cop trying to use her as bait. And finally, we have to talk about Theo Carver and Johnny DiMera, because this is just heartbreaking on every single level. Theo is grieving so hard right now. His mom, Lexie Carver, is dying. Again, she was hiding down in the DiMera tunnels, and Johnny knew about it. Johnny knew that EJ was keeping Lexie a secret, and he didn't tell Theo or Abe. He kept his mouth shut out of loyalty to his dad, or maybe fear of his dad, who even knows at this point. And now Theo knows the truth. He knows that Johnny looked him in the eye while his mother was wasting away in a basement. So Johnny tries to apologize. He goes to Theo, and he is just begging for forgiveness. He wants to make things right. He feels terrible for keeping EJ's secret. Johnny is usually the good DiMera, the one with a conscience, so this guilt is eating him alive. But Theo is not having it. He completely rejects Johnny's apologies. He shuts him down cold. And honestly, good for Theo. Why should he forgive Johnny? Johnny prioritized EJ's twisted, controlling plans over Theo's right to know that his mother was alive and then dying again. Theo is not going to give Johnny the chance to clear his conscience. He refuses to let Johnny off the hook. It is a really powerful moment for Theo. He is usually so forgiving, so sweet, but this crossed a massive, unforgivable line. I don't know how Johnny's going to fix this. Maybe he can't. Some things you just can't apologize away. So, yeah, that is the rundown for Thursday. It is a heavy, emotional episode. Joy facing paralysis, Stephanie spiraling with Chad, Javi dumping Gus for Leo, Gwen getting her bestie back, and Theo icing out Johnny. It is classic days drama. I am exhausted just talking about it. But I'll be back tomorrow to break down the fallout. See you guys then.